Hello guys, welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial, you are going to learn how to develop Telegram bot using Python and Telegram bot library. So watch this video and learn how to develop Telegram bots and develop your first time bot as well. Okay, let's get started. And here, just create your file. If you are interested or if you know how to create virtual environment, that's better to run your code on virtual environment and to separate from other project. Okay, let's get started. The step one is installing Telegram bots. You can install Telegram bots using pip install Telegram bot library. And step two is import modules libraries from Telegram bot. In case you missed installing the library, you can just use try and exception handling to handle the error and install automatically. So if you don't want to install manually, you can just use a try cache, and in the exception handling, it's going to install automatically if that module or library is not found or not installed yet. So that is better. So, okay, import all the modules from Telegram. If we assume you are already installed that, and update from telegram.update, import update is going to useful for our Telegram bot. And callback context is also important. So you can import the callback context. Command handler is going to handle the command in our Telegram bot. Message handler is going to handle our message, which is when you click on the command or the button, it's going to handle by this message handler. Filters. This is useful to filter our buttons or commands from Telegram bot. And if any errors, you can handle by importing this error. Okay, if those modules or Telegram bot is not found, the exception handling going to handle that error. Module is not found error and automatically install pip install Telegram bot, automatically run this and install that library. So you don't need to install manually by running on terminal or command prompt. Okay, if it is fine, we can start step 3 or go to step 3 and define the method to start the bot and define the keyboard buttons which are going to be displayed when the bot is started. When you click on the bot, let's try to see. When you start on the bot, it's going to start or display the buttons just like this. So at the end of this tutorial, just we will see this results outputs. Okay, so we define start method here. In the start method, we can use the update parameter as well as the command callback context. Those are very important. We are already imported here, the module. Okay, then we are going to do our method body. Inside this, we are going to define buttons. List of buttons. In the list, we can just each keyboard. So we are going to develop not a command based, but it is a button based bot. So that is very advanced features of Telegram bots. So instead of developing just command based, the button based is better to interact with that. So we keyboard button, we can pass the button name inside this method, but we can globally define that button name. For example, button about, we can just put the text name, which is going to be displayed on the Telegram bot as a pop-up. Okay, then we can call this button about. Okay, once we define a list of buttons like this, we can just write some welcome message. Welcome message. The welcome message is just tells to the user about something. Hey, someone. Hey, welcome to this bot, or something message you can just write. Okay, then we are going to send the buttons and welcome message to the bot father. So actually, you need to create a bot, your own bot on bot father. So I think you know how to create it. Okay, because the token is very important. You can generate your own token for a specific bot you created on bot father. Okay, then we can send the buttons and welcome message to the bot father, and when you click, then automatically send it to your own bot, which is created using bot father. Bot dot send message, and this message we are going to call the chat ID dot update. Update is this is already update, automatically update every time the chat ID going to be updated, and update dot effective ID dot effective chat dot ID, then comma, then the text we're going to pass when the start button is clicked. Then the welcome message going to be sent to your bot through your bot token and displayed to the user. Welcome message. Okay, once the bot is started, then the keyboard button is going to be replied to that bot. So we are going to define that reply. Sorry, just we use comma here inside this reply markup, that is a reply reply keyboard markup. Then in this function, in this method, we are going to define call the buttons. When you click start button, the welcome message going to be displayed, and then all the buttons, the markup keyboard markup buttons going to be replied to that message. Then you can see look like this, right? Okay, now we have finished the start function. All right, now the next is define message handler. This is handling the start button when the first time when you're starting the bot for first time, then it will display just the button, the start button. When you click on that start button, it's going to display the welcome. Hey, welcome to this bot, and all the buttons that defined in that bot in the going to be replied and displayed on the on that bot. Then when you click, what will happen if you click one of the buttons which is displayed or replied to that bot, then we can handle using the message handler. In this message handler, we are going to use try, except, unauthorized. If you are not authorized to access that, you can that exception try catch going to handle. If this button about btn about is not update message.txt, the unauthorized message going to be displayed. But if that's btn, which means this is found in this star board, or the text is found in update.message.text, that's going to do some job. For example, if about it tells something about your board, so we call context.board.send message chat ID, update the chat ID, effective chat.id, and text. We just write about this is my first time bot. You can just subscribe to my channel, and you can pass your channel ID. This is the text. When you click on the button about, it's going to just send the chat ID and updates the chat ID, and the text going to be displayed on that screen. If that is not found, this button is not found or not authorized, so context dot bot dot send message chat ID, the update dot effective chat dot ID, then we can pass text. You are not allowed to access this bot, unauthorized access. Okay, now we have finished message handler. Now the next is step 5. Step 5 is about defining the main method, which is going to update the bot buttons, the bot informations, and other things. Token is going to be defined here. So your token ID, here you can pass your token ID. How do you get your token ID? You can go to the bot fuzzer, and you can just generate the token for that bot you created using bot fuzzer, and copy this, and you can paste here. All right. Then inside this main method, we call the start button, the message handler inside this, and it's going to update the token. So we call updater here. The updater going to token ID, pass your token ID, use context is true. Then updater dot dispatcher dot add handler. So inside this, we call the command handler method. The command handler just start, and we call the method start. This is for the first time it's going to be started. When this start button going to be displayed when you are starting the bot for first time. All right, and this method going to be called, and when you click the start button, the welcome message going to be displayed, as well as the markup buttons. For example, button about going to be replied and displayed on the screen. All right, what about the handler? When you click the button, once the button is displayed, when you click on the start button, and the message handler going to handle the buttons, yeah, that you click on it. Add handler. In this case, we are not going to use command handler. Instead, we are going to use message handler, because when you click the button, any one of the button you defined or displayed on the board, then the message handler going to handle the messages inside that button, which is defined in that button, and do that you wanted to yeah, that you defined in that button. Okay, we call the message handler, and in this case we call filters dot text. This filters module going to filter the texts, and we call the message handler method. So when you click on the button about, it's going to display the message. This is my first time bot. You can just, so the message handler going to handle this part, the buttons or the messages, which is defined. Now we have finished this part, and next we just call updater dot start polling, because this is a poll. Just every time it's going to be update and start the polling, and updater dot ideal. All right, we have finished our very first bot. And finally, step 6 is calling the main method. And then when you call the main method, all the other method is going to be handled inside this main method, and every time it's going to be updated everything. Now we have finished, and let's going to run our bot. Okay. Then go to your bot and start your bot. Start, click start. All right. The welcome message is displayed. Hey, welcome to this bot. Then the button, which is defined in that start method, is displayed or replied. And instead of replying the command, the buttons is displayed just like this. So when you click on the button about, the message handler going to handle that button text. If that button is already available or found, it's going to display the message which is found in that about message button. This is my first time bot. You can just subscribe to my my channel. All right. So this is the very first bot. You can learn, and you can develop more advanced bot. We can add more buttons. So for example, just define here help. button help, the button name defined here. And here you can separate by comma. In the start button, you can define the keyboard buttons, keyboard button, btn help. Then in the message handler, going to just copy this, paste, and change this btn help. And you can just change the message, the text in the help. Hey, what can I help you? Just finished. Then you can restart your bot. Okay, there is, yeah. And you can restart the bot again. And yeah, help button is displayed, added into the bot. And hey, what can I help you? When you click about this display, help. So you can add more features and develop more advanced bots for your business. So if you wanted to me to develop latest bots, so you can invite me. You can contact me on Telegram as an Asiba. The name that is Asiba Tanagar. So you can just contact me like this. This is my name on Telegram. You can personally contact me if you want to learn more about Telegram bots. So this is my first tutorials about developing Telegram bot from scratch using Python and Telegram bot library. If you like this video, subscribe, share, and like, and also register to membership and receive the exclusive access to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.